Welcome to the wonderfully weary world of Watchmen. This is Watchmen The End is Nigh for PlayStation 3, PC, and this is the Xbox 360 version. This is a build as an episodic series. I'm going to put that in quotes because there's only two parts. It just feels like a game that's been cut into two pieces, if you ask me. Developed by Deadline Games, who you may not have heard of, but actually I was kind of gutted to read this in that this was Deadline Games' last game. The previous games they worked on were Total Overdose and Chili Con Carnage, which was like a PSP port of Total Overdose. I really liked Total Overdose at the time. I haven't been back to play it in probably 10 years, but at the time I really enjoyed it. So a little bit gutted that their last game was this Watchmen brawler thing, but we're going with open eyes. I haven't played this game in probably, again, at least a decade. And this came out in 2009, March 4th, 2009, and was originally an Xbox Live Arcade release, which was then put on a disc, which is what we're looking at here. So I could choose between Night Owl and Rorschach. We're going to go Rorschach because it's Rorschach.
Sing Sing, dead ahead.
Black as Moloch's heart down there.
Attention, Warden. This is Night Owl. Rorschach.
So I believe Deadline Games were a Danish developer.
Deny. The last thing we need right now is you damn costume vigilantes interfering and making the situation worse. We've got it under control.
Not the way it looks from up here.
Warden, can your men reach the backup generators?
I told you we're handling things. Just stay the hell away. I'm warning you. Attempt to land, and my officers will shoot you.
Fine. If that's the way you want to play it.
Not the warm welcome we hoped for.
Comic book action and gruff voices. So from what I remember, this is kind of a isometric top-down sort of brawlery thing. That's a library sound effect.
Warden may not have rolled out the welcome wagon, but from the looks of things, it's up to us to try to help quell this riot.
I also remember this being an expensive Xbox Live Arcade game. Okay, it's behind the back.
Dogs need to be put down.
I remember it being... was it 1,600 points? But it certainly wasn't cheap. Slightly higher production values than maybe you'd expect of a game of this scale, but yeah, not a popular decision at the time.
You're out of your league, squeak.
Got a rage meter apparently.
Facility this size.
I bet he immediately puts his hands back in his pockets.
Why it hasn't come on when main power cut.
Oh no. Ah. I need to look at the controls because I'm just mashing X at the minute. Fast, heavy, throw, use, dodge, bull rush, rage mode, helper camera. What a helper camera does. Doesn't seem to do much at all. Okay. What's that? Alright. So there's an ability list. Okay, so there's unlockables. So I can dodge and I can stun. I also should probably make clear, I do not like the Watchmen movie that this game is based off of. It is 2.5 hours plus that I will never get back. Ooh, big words there. I really didn't enjoy it at the time. And I watched it, it was probably a few years after it came out on DVD, but it just did nothing for me. I thought it was kind of both silly and pretentious at the same time. And I genuinely cannot believe that anyone needs an extended director's cut of that nonsense. But hey, each to their own. You know what? I shouldn't talk badly of it. People seem to love it, but for me, I really did not like it. So, let's try and do a stun. Oh, the frame rate's all over the place.
Prison's on backup
Hey.
power, but that won't last. There should be an entrance to the generator.
Camera's gone wonky as well.
Let's get over there and see if we can't get these lights back on.
Whee! Roll! Come back here. I don't really know why everybody ran off.
I've been waiting years for this.
That roll feels really stilted. So the controls feel quite heavy. I mean, visually this looks okay. I mean, it looked quite aliased when it first booted up, and I don't know if that's just a sub-native resolution thing or what, but for a downloadable game of the era, because also don't forget this came out in 2009, so this was before Shadow Complex, before... I mean, we were still in the realms of like Bionic Commando Rearmed being the big deal on Xbox Live Arcade, and Braid, and much smaller budget games. Yeah, that fire effect looks alright.
I can get by and find a way to open doors.
Well. Bye then. Hi then. In my pockets. Ah, the helper camera actually points you in the direction you should be heading. Clever.
Prison guard's incompetent. Warden his own worst enemy.
That helicopter's just gonna stay there?
These animals back in their cages.
Not gonna bother trying to attack us?
Must assume backup generator has been sabotaged.
Maybe, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's press the glowing switch.
Random blackout and prison generator hit at the same time. Doesn't seem very random. Doesn't seem like coincidence. Part of a larger plan.
Okay, I like that throw. Is that... Okay.
Time to feed this freaking...
Why is Rorschach's journal on the side of the wall? That's what I'm... Sorry if I've gone silent there for a second. I was just kind of trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I should also mention this is 2-player co-op as well, so you can have someone play Night Owl with you.
These inmates are like roaches, scattering light.
Toilet paper.
Darkness.
Interactive toilet paper. Whoa! What? The game just decided that that guy over there needed to get thrown.
This has been a long time coming, you creepy bastard.
Can I throw you over the railing? Yes, I can!
Prison guards not making much of an effort to contain this chaos. Hardly a surprise. Easy to collect paycheck when rats are in their cages.
Let's kick the toilet roll. Go on, go over the edge. Oh. Trapped there forever. We going this way? Let's use the helper camera. Yes, this way. There's another glowy circle thing. Counterattack.
It's Rorschach. Time to collect the deposit of tap. Wipe my ass without mask, psycho.
Hey, I got a stick now.
Your life, asshole. This is gonna hurt you way more.
This isn't exactly Batman combat. I mean, also this game came out before Batman, so... Ooh. Elbows to junk. That'd be painful.
Cell block C is locked down. We'll need to get to the guard room to allow access. It's got a standard double-safe locking mechanism, so it'll take us both to activate it.
That's convenient for a co-op game. Thanks, Army of Two. I blame Army of Two for this. Oh look, two conveniently... No one designs systems like this, do they? No one designs systems that need two people to be stood this far apart.
In a place like this, depraved may be off streets, but once released, if anything, they become more depraved. Place like this perpetuates cycle, churning out criminals, hungrier than ever.
Oh look, they're just waiting for me to fight.
Throw down with us. Let 'em try.
Ah, that counter move, that's quite nice.
I owe you, sir.
This is better than I remember. I remember this being rubbish. But actually, this isn't. This control's okay.
Entire cell block's on fire. This is gonna be hell, but we've got to make it through.
This is going to be hell. The voice acting's not good.
Who's under that bed?
Seems work never done.
Time to die.
There is also an irony to making an action game out of an action movie about a graphic novel that isn't really focused on just hours and hours and hours of punching people to death. There's quite a interesting combat system here. I mean, it's 2 buttons, but and a dodge, but
They come.
oh, good, more dudes to fight.
Gonna wipe my ass with that mask, psycho.
I suppose the question becomes like, what has this really got to do with Watchmen? But then if you're handed Watchmen by Warner Brothers to make a video game out of, what are you going to do? You're not going to make a graphic novel, are you? Or a video game graphic novel? Hey, I also don't know what the rage must be something I can do later on in the game, but it'd be nice to know what that bar's there for.
This jerk-off wants a piece of us? Let him try.
Whoa.
Long time coming, you bastard.
I'm fighting 3 of the same bold guy. Maybe they're all brothers. Maybe they're clones. I genuinely remember nothing about Watchmen other than Mr. Manhattan. And Rorschach, obviously. And then it was quite violent. And then there was that horrible scene in the spaceship. Whatever it was. I don't care. Whatever. Whatever. Most of the time I like to try and be as accurate as possible with my checking my licenses, but I make an exception for Watchmen. I feel like I should probably read the graphic novel, but when am I going to have time to do that? I'm too busy playing licensed video games to do anything of anything these days.
Rehabilitation, they call it when city's worst elements get
Bull Rush, here we go.
this concept of justice, fair trial, jury of peers, incarceration, rehabilitation. Only thing being rehabilitated is politicians' image. Piling filth on top of filth doesn't clean anything.
I killed you. I'm the boss of the block, Rorschach.
What? I did a counter and then he just flew off and attacked somebody else. Maybe not the most consistent controls in the world. Beat. I like that the AI is too stupid to realise I'm in a cutscene. It's going to run up against me. Right, now I'm going to press right trigger. There we go. So can I initiate rage mode? Pick up. Which button was rage mode? I'm guessing rage mode is going to be the next thing in the tutorial to teach me.
Locking mechanism in guards room will likely open up maximum security cells.
Are we... Is this the same room over and over again? Is this the Oblivion system? Yeah. Pretty much. Rage meter has grown. Hey, my rage is decreasing.
I'm sure this place is surrounded by cops by now, but I'd still expect to see inmates looking for a way out. I don't see too many prisoners running for the exits.
I concur. Obvious breakout opportunity.
Wow.
Security leak is not on perimeter.
Okay, there's a lot of geometry being repeated here. Maybe I was... Because the reviews to this were mixed, I think it's best to say. It wasn't particularly positive. Good, and I have to fill up my rage again. Guys over here again? Yep.
Hold still, you goddamn nut job!
Oh, got an achievement. That's a shame. All the achievements in this game have weird numbers on them. Although I think I already broke my achievement score a long ago.
You know, Rorschach, I'm starting to come around to your way of thinking. It seems like there are just too many things going wrong around here at one time for this to be a coincidence.
No shit.
You should listen to your gut more often. It'll serve you well.
I mean, this is better than that Kick-Ass game. I know that's a very low low bar to entry, especially Kick-Ass 2, but... Come back here!
What the hell? That explosion came from the shower. Why would a fire cause it to... Something doesn't feel right. I think we better investigate.
Stop suggesting that something might not feel right as we're fighting hundreds of inmates. X. That's the end of you. Well, I'm bored of that fight, so I'm going to carry on. See, there's elements of this that look rough and elements of this that look alright.
Seems like someone has orchestrated this, but I can't quite put my finger on it yet.
Maybe it's one of the reasons that Deadline are no longer around, is just this game cost too much and didn't make enough money back.
Back on 5 minutes faster?
No guards in sight. Not paid enough to rush headfirst into slaughterhouse.
Not like us, right? Well, whoever sabotaged those generators sure knew what they were
Keep
doing.
your hands where I can see them, damn it! You were warned to keep out of this. I ought to arrest you both.
No need to thank us. Just doing your job.
I take it you've got everything under control, right, Warden?
No thanks to you. But all the prisoners are back in their cells and accounted for. Except one.
Which one? Big figure?
No. It's Underboss.
Him? We put that gorilla away in '66.
Smarter than I remember. Used Riot to cover his escape. Must have had help.
Explains the power outage. Guess it's up to us to bring him in again.
You two aren't going anywhere until we sort out how much damage your meddling caused. Dr. Manhattan?
And Silk Spectre, I see.
Can we be of any assistance?
Dr. Manhattan seems to have found some pants.
Sorry, there was a cyclone threatening Sri Lanka to be dealt with.
Are you all right?
Fine. Porting always makes me queasy is all.
You're certain that we cannot be of service here?
Nah, we were just leaving. Isn't that right, Warden?
Yes, absolutely. No problem.
Very well. A plane carrying a Uruguayan rugby team will crash in the Andes in precisely 4 minutes 37 seconds, unless I intervene.
Thank you for your concern, Nigh.
Blue freak. Makes my skin crawl.
He might have been able to tell us where to find Underboss.
You look like you could use a drink, Daniel. Here the rum runner's always open. Couldn't park any closer.
Better this way. We'll draw less attention if we... Now what?
No! Please!
Come on, baby. This won't hurt. Wanna bet?
God damn it. This is split into like 6 chapters for the first one. I think one of the killers for this would have been that this had local co-op, as I mentioned, but it does not have online co-op, which seems like a bit of a waste, to be honest. Like, there's always a mistake in Xbox Live Arcade games. If you put in multiplayer and didn't make it online, it's still happening in PS4 games these days. I know there's an overhead to putting net play in these games, but Xbox Live Arcade are downloadable games. The Xbox 360 was built around playing with your friends online.
Need to turn over a few rocks, see what crawls out, get information.
Wayward X.
Ah. You fucker. Nailed it. What could be inside? Rain looks alright as well. I'd be curious to see what part 2 looks like, because part 2 came sort of 3 or 4 months later. And I don't know, okay, I'm still unlocking stuff, that's good. Right, so I want to go for... So you basically want to go biggest bronze block to smallest. Oh, Jesus. It's quite finicky because you have to hold the... So I'm holding the lockpick with the left stick, I'm moving it back and forth. And with the right stick, I'm moving it up and down. Oh, maybe I'm doing it in the wrong order. Let's get that one in place first. There. And then the right trigger to... Ugh. Oh, some of these are connected.
You'd think that with Underboss on the loose, all the stool pigeons would...
What? Was this dialogue written by the school of Duke Nukem?
Not a problem. There's always a new pigeon to be found at that roost.
That noise. Surely big fat guy in sunglasses shouldn't be too hard to take down. Well, apparently I appear to be doing wrestling moves now. What a weird game this is. Oh look, another guy in a black t-shirt. And this appears to be the cast of Ride to Hell Retribution. If there's a thing in video games that I always appreciate, it's when I can interrupt somebody's dialogue midway through by punching them in the face. Shows an attention to detail that I massively appreciate. I hate vigilantes.
Here comes one of them masked freaks. Get him!
So there's not a great deal of this game. It is punching and kicking, and occasionally lockpicking. Let's take a look later in the week. I'm kind of curious to see how if episode 2 is any different whatsoever. I suspect not.